Hi, my name is Matthew Machette. I work for Toronto Fire. I am a probationary firefighter. I've been on for about a year now, and I work in Toronto's East Command at Station 233.
Thank you, Matthew. Hi, my name is Linus King. I work for Toronto Fire Service, and I work at Station 413. And I've been on the job for just coming up on a year, so that means I am a probationary firefighter. How did we meet? That's a good question. I met Matthew actually walking into a building. We were trying on our bunker gear and our station uniform. So when I was walking to the building, I saw Matthew there as well, and introduced myself. And I'm just like, "Hey, Matthew, do you work out?" Touch his arms. Just like, "Wow, do you work out?" So that's where I met him.
Linus is a character. But yeah, like he said, we were at the recruit fitting. It was definitely nice to look over and see a familiar face, see another brother in the place. Yeah, we've been pretty close since. So for this next segment, I have a bunch of questions in our captain's helmet here, and I'm going to go ahead and read the first one. So the first one, Linus, is what does celebrating Black History Month mean to you?
Oh, that's a good question. Celebrating Black History Month means to me that I recognize the Black community and I recognize how they paved the way to give me the opportunity that I have today in front of me right now. It also means that they stood up for equal rights. And maybe when it was a time that it was hard to stand for equal rights, they stood up for equal rights so I could have this opportunity once again. It also means to me that I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate their accomplishments and what they did because they had to struggle and they had to fight for equal rights so that I could have equal rights right now. So it's an accomplishment. I want to celebrate all the accomplishments that they did within the Black community to give us this chance today. Thank you.
So for me, celebrating Black History Month, I believe it's still fairly young in a whole. It was only established in 1972, but it's definitely a time to acknowledge and recognize, the achievements of Black people throughout history. I believe all too often it's kind of some of the stuff has been forgotten or maybe even neglected. So this is definitely a time to share it and be proud. Pass it on to the youth of today so we can preserve and keep these memories and endeavors in everybody's mind. For me, it's something that I've always recognized and celebrated from a young child. I was always really proud. Growing up, I grew up in Kitchener, Ontario, and I was always really proud to know that the first Black player in the NHL, Willie O'Ree, he played junior hockey in my hometown before making his NHL debut in 1958. So I thought that was always really cool. For me, every time I put on the TFS uniform, I'm reminded of past pioneers that, paved the way to help us get to where we are. So I don't know if you knew this, Linus, but in the early 1900s, a lot of firehouses were still segregated, and it wasn't until in the 1930s, Thomas Hill and Robert Turner, they were the first Black people to even drive a fire apparatus. So it's definitely taken a long time for progression. But even to be here for this interview right now, I'm extremely proud and thankful for this TFS platform. Okay, so we'll go see if we can pull out another question, Linus.
All right. Second question is, was there a moment in time or event that made you realize that you wanted to become a firefighter?
So I think for me, and a lot of young people, were drawn to the lights and sirens, the obvious lights and sirens. Growing up, I know growing up, I definitely was attracted to it. I wouldn't say it was my first boyhood dream. My first boyhood dream was to play for the Maple Leafs, so unfortunately that didn't work out. But the more I look back in my life and reflect, I believe firefighting was one of my callings all along. I was always first. eager to be first, on a scene or an incident, whether it was a classmate or a friend, or a crew member that was injured. Also, even if it was to mitigate a fight, I was always front row for that. Or even to tend to a elderly family member for a 911 call. That was always me. I was always first in.
There was a point in my life where I had to call 911, and the fire service came to my door, and I was down. I was really down. I was upset about something, and I was on my knee. And a firefighter came back to me, put his hand on my shoulder, and he said to me, "Everything's going to be all right." And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I want to be part of that. So at that point, what I did, I started studying, and a friend of mine that works for Toronto Fire Service actually gave me some leadway in how to get on the Toronto Fire Service, and he kind of pulled me through, and that was the definitive moment for me where I'm like, this is what I got to do. This is my calling. Okay, we're going to ask another question here in the hat. We're going to dig in the hat, and I'm going to ask you, Matthew, another question. Let's dig in here, and I got this one kind of at the top. And the question is, what did your journey to become a firefighter look like? I'm going to pass the mic to you.
For me, I would say I realized pretty quickly in recruit class that everybody has their unique story to becoming a career firefighter. It was definitely one of the hardest things I've had to do. The mental toughness and the ability to persevere from all the setbacks is something that's really key, because there's definitely going to be a lot of setbacks, as you know, I'm sure. But just that ability to bounce back. It was also a very humbling experience for me. I feel that, getting involved in the community and doing volunteer work and stuff, that really opened up my eyes. For me as well, I started pretty late in candidates aspect, I guess. I graduated high school in 2002. Shortly after that, I worked in Western Canada's oil fields for about 13 years. Unfortunately, towards the end of my career, there was a downturn in the oil market, and basically it was, it forced me to reinvent myself and start a new career at, the age of 36 years old. So I ended up coming home. I worked Uber in the GTA for just over a year, trying to figure out my next path. Wasn't really sure. I ended up running into a childhood friend who coincidentally is a TFS member, and he challenged me to, becoming a firefighter. And that's what we did. We set up a plan and just started at step one, and, just trying to keep moving forward and checking all the boxes. And before you knew it, I was at the interview panel with chiefs looking at me, and yeah, it was pretty surreal.
Cool. I'm going to answer the same question. I'm going to give that, actually. Heather. It wasn't an easy process, I must say, but it was, I think, rewarding now that I'm here. But it was a lot of studying and a lot of unknown. So my struggle to get here was a little bit different from maybe most people's. What I did, I didn't know the right path to take, so I had to get some guidance from actually Toronto firefighters to actually lead me in the right paths. So I talked to a firefighter that's on the job, and he told me I had to go to Festi, and I had to get some certifications. And so I had to go back to school. So I kind of quit my job to go back to Festi in pre-service and have unknown a little bit. So then after that, I took some more courses. I got my 1031 and 1035 and my EMR as well. And just took some courses to kind of pad my resume to make it look a little bit different and maybe better than some other people's. And yeah, from there as well, I started hanging with some firefighters and yeah, applied to certain cities, and I always wanted Toronto. And yeah, then when I got the calling for my interview, practice my interview questions, practice, train, and the struggle was all worth it. So when I got called to say that I got the job, I was just like, thank you. Proud moment. And throughout the whole process, I had people that were supportive for me. So to build a good support team around you and people that understood what my goal and passion was amazing. So I would recommend getting a good support team and a good, I guess, firefighters, around you actually to keep you going, because there are down moments during this process. There's times you just get there and you're just like, wow, you don't get it, and then all of a sudden you fail something, or you might have to be, I don't know, step back a little bit to be like, I can't jump that wall without stepping back. But it was a struggle, but it was well worth it. Then. Okay, we're gonna get into the next question. Okay, pull one out there at the helmet there, Matthew. I'll give you the mic.
All right. So the next question is, this is a good one. How is it being a black firefighter in Toronto?
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's an amazing experience. It's been great. And the community has been amazing as well. Toronto is a very diverse city, and I actually love it. A few times I've had a few people come up to me and say, wow, a black firefighter. That's the first black firefighter I've ever seen. And they ask about my journey and how I got here. And then I tell them how I got here, and then my journey here. And it's been great. My experience has been great. The community has been great. The people in Toronto have been amazing. And I love serving the community in Toronto. It's been a great experience. I have nothing except for I love it. I absolutely love it.
Same thing. I've loved this city since I was a boy. I'm a pretty big sports guy, so everything's always been Leafs, Raptors, Jays. It still is. But so yeah, same thing when we're out in the community and on the job, on calls and memorials, parades, grocery stores. It's always that same proud look from minorities that I get. I've definitely been approached and positive things, and you try to give good feedback and acknowledgement, because just as much as it speaks to us, speaks volumes, it definitely speaks back to them when you acknowledge them. So I always try to give a smile and a wave to a grandma, or a smile and a daps to a little child. So it's something that I'm aware of, and it's definitely a warm feeling that I don't think will ever get old to me. Okay, we are going to jump into the next question.
I got this. Actually, this is the last question there, Matthew. Yeah, okay. And the question for you is, what message do you have for aspiring black firefighters?
I believe I definitely have a couple messages. I personally have two daughters, 9 and 13 years old. I tell them the same things both all the time. If you really want something in life, you're gonna have to work at it. You're gonna have to expect failure. It's just a part of the process, but just to keep moving forward, pushing forward. I also believe, I think you mentioned this earlier, that it's up to minorities on the job to kind of be that lifeline for people to reach out to. I think it's highly beneficial to reach out to people that are on the job, or just kind of went through the process. It's something that definitely helped me. I grew up in the '90s, and I would say I've seen a lot of change since I was a kid up until now. But maybe the most significant change is probably been in the last 5 years. For me, seeing senior officers on the job, it's very moving sometimes. Just knowing that they have that life experience and the knowledge on the job. I'm definitely extremely moved when I see senior black officers on the job. So I can imagine when the youth see us, what they feel. So just being there, I think my final message would be to just keep pushing. You definitely will get on as long as you don't stop. You got to kind of keep going, moving forward. And believe me, it's definitely the best job in the world.
I believe the children are the future. I'm just joking. I'm joking. This job is so honorable. I love this job, and it's an honorable job. And it's rewarding. It's a very, very rewarding job. So no matter what hoop or struggle or obstacle you have to jump through, it's worth it. It's worth it. The courses are worth it. The education you get is worth it. All the training you get is worth it. And at the end of the day, it's a rewarding job. Best job in the world. So many people say that. I didn't know that till I got on, and it's amazing. So I encourage anyone that's trying to go this route, keep trying, and surround yourself with some good people, and make your home network really great, and hang around firefighters because then you become a firefighter. Like I said, keep trying, keep going at it, and if you have any questions, we're here. We're here. I'll definitely answer them for you. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Celebrating Black History Month.
Yeah, so closing off, I just wanted to say thank you. Me and Linus, I know we enjoyed doing this video for you, but definitely proud and thankful for the TFS platform. Celebrating Black History Month is something that's very important to us, and we're really happy to see it come forward like this. And yeah, look for the decals on the trucks. We have some Black History decals for the trucks in the city. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.